So this is a continuation to Return of the Obra Dinn. I kind of solved certain other unsolvable cases as well, just to at least get more than half past what I did. I don't really have to do it. I already know how the story plays out. But if you want to have like a good score with regards to how many individuals you were able to muster up, then that's what I did. So before I only had like 25, and this time I had like more than half, simply because I decided to be patient. It took me a couple of hours, but I was managed to do it. There's still a lot that's unsolved. The last 25% is unsolved simply because you're not allowed to solve those cases until you return the pocket watch and the notes to Henry Evans, or at least the notes to Henry Evans. So that's what it said. That's what it said in the book. Once you return the book to Henry Evans, only then would that chapter in the book be unlocked, once it's been returned to Henry Evans. So I'm not exactly sure how much of the characters I was supposed to unlock Bargain. But after this video, I'm not going to do any more Obra Dinn. It's not that long of a game, but at the same time, I believe at the bargain part, it's hard to understand exactly what to do.
I'll be turning in now.
After you solve everything.
You might think about going to bed as well.
So I believe I had like 74% of the cases solved when I decided to continue on my own time. What I don't understand is if I open this envelope and if I receive information with regards to you've completed the game Return of the Obra Dinn, and Henry Evans or whoever the letter is sent from says that you've done the job, and then the game is over and it's ended, and you get a good score, you get a bad score, or you get a mid score. How can you go back to unlocking Bargain? As it says, return the book back to Henry Evans to unlock this section. So I have to leave the ship in order to do so. Okay, so this is the part that's kind of annoying. The the game specifically tells you to return the book back to Henry Evans, and the part called, I believe it's gamble or something like that, or bribe or something like that, will be unlocked. So I returned the book back and I got this note in return. And the game ends. But when I try to go back to do it again, the only thing I can do, is rewind time. I can't do anything else. So now I'm back on the ship, and I'm going to look to see if Bargain, that's the name of it, Bargain, is unlocked. This is what doesn't make sense to me. This chapter will remain unlocked until you leave the ship and return the book to Henry Evans. So is the game telling me that I basically have to solve every one of these cases to unlock this? It makes no sense. It makes no sense because I know how he dies. He dies by getting shot. And after he got shot by a specific person. He got shot by passenger. He got shot by this guy. You have to get 3 of these correctly to proceed forward. So I got him. He's unknown. There's no description to his faith. It's stated his first meeting is here, where you first meet him. And that first location that you meet him is in the Orlop deck during Bitter Cold. So if you go to the Orlop deck, and you click on Bitter Cold,
saya tutup. Good feel.
he's not present there because it's not that section of Bitter Cold. He's present in Bitter Cold, the second section, which is the next guy that dies. He's not present. So it's not this guy, it's this guy. And there he is.
Well, same as the other fellow. Some lung disease.
So what you do with people like that, you bookmark them to see exactly where they pop up every single time throughout the entire story of the game. What doesn't make sense is that if I bookmark him, like I'm doing it now, I didn't track him through the map. This is why, as much as people say they love this game and it's a good detective game, I gotta say, I call bullshit on it. There's certain things that don't make sense and don't add up. So every little bookmark location are locations where he popped up. He popped up on Orlok deck. He popped up on the front deck. And these are different events he popped up in. Unholy Captives 2, Unholy Doom Part 5, Bitter Cold Part 2, different sections throughout the story, and Unholy Captives again. So the bookmark indicates where he popped up throughout the story. So the very last part of the story he popped up in was Doom. So if we go to Doom, with regards to Doom, these are all the events that happened during Doom. So all you got to do is just track this image and see if he's here. In part 1, he's not. With the artist, he is there. And he's there throughout all of Doom, all the way up until the end. He's here, and thereafter, he's not part of the people who disappeared, which means he didn't drown, he didn't die. None of this happened to him. None. He wasn't devoured by a beast, anything. He's not marked as conclusion as a person that disappeared. He's not here at all. And he's last seen was during the Doom chapter. What comes after the Doom chapter is Bargain. But you cannot see anything in Bargain until you return it to Henry Evans. And you cannot return this and unlock this in Henry Evans unless you unlock every character with regards to their actions, because he does not pop up in Escape at all. He's nowhere to be found in Escape. He's not in Escape this part. He's not in Escape this part. So he died in Bargain. But you cannot unlock Bargain unless you unlock certain specific things throughout the story. But there's no specific things throughout the story that could give you evidence to what those things are, because he has nothing attached to him beyond Doom. After Doom is locked off from him. So he doesn't have keys, or he didn't have any other useful information to his existence whatsoever at all. Nothing. Nothing present. Nothing whatsoever. So everything about him after Doom is virtually unknown. Where he was going, what he was doing. So I tracked him all the way from the beginning of the game to see what he was doing. He was just doing random mundane stuff. He wasn't doing anything special. He was fighting monsters. He was talking to his steward. He was doing absolutely nothing. Nothing was suspicious about this guy. He's just locked off because you have to unlock Bargain in order to proceed with him. So you cannot do anything with him until you unlock certain characters to unlock his situation, because he's a character that only have one dialogue point, which is first memory. Most people have, like say him, they have multiple. They have a first memory, and then they have where they died. He is not classified as someone who's died. He's more like someone who's missing in action. Everyone has an endpoint. They have a starting point and end point. He does not have one. And the only way to get his endpoint is to unlock Bargain. And the only way to unlock Bargain is to finish at least a certain amount of these characters. But I already know what happened with him. He gets shot. And then I go down the list to find another 3. I already know what happened with her. She left the ship and managed to get to Africa. She survived. And she survived. I already know what happened to him. He gets spiked based on Unholy Captives. And I tracked it on the Unholy Captives, and they show it here. That's him talking right here. And these are the people that were present here. Spiked by terrifying beasts. And he was holding him down. That was him holding him right over there. So if I go back to him,
So I'm sure it works by the couple. Spread? If so, we don't have it. They must have picked it up in the last few days. I checked on that.
that's why I'm not going to spend any more time on this game. There's using your brains, and then there's just stuff that just wastes your time. As much as people give this game props, I'd be like, nah, I don't think so. Once you get past like 75% of discovery of everyone, you're stuck at that last 25%. So here, I spent hours trying to figure out how to unlock everyone, and I did. And then all of a sudden, I'm stuck.
You know about these things, about the chest and your dead friends.
这是什么？归来，全部供出来！恭喜你派啦！你哋喺你及啲你冇過好，上得本事啊！你我嘅老師
Shell? What shell?
Now see, at first I thought this dude stabbed him in the back. That's why it's not unlocking for him. He stabbed him in his back, I couldn't see his hands. And then this thing threw a freaking a spike at the same time. Try to keep him quiet, but this happened at the same time. But then when I went to do that, and I say, okay, he got stabbed. Got a knife. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. So I went back. I went back to Spike, and then boom, nothing happened again. So there's only two things that could happen in this situation. One, he stabbed him from the back, or two, the damn creature killed both of them, which is the most obvious one. He killed both of them. So his death is super obvious. So you only need 3 to unlock to proceed forward more. So if I already know how he dies, he gets shot by the same guy that gets spiked, that's already 2 fully confirmed. So all I needed was 1 more. And let's say I can't guarantee that they actually went to Africa. At the end of the game, it did show me that note and said that they're in Africa. Freaking Morocco is that northern part of Africa. Alright, so that's 2 people. And now I just needed 1 more. Now I know how she dies as well. She gets clawed by a beast in the water. So I said, alright, I'm gonna keep playing this game's whole little thing and see what's going on. See if I could find something that makes sense. So I went to the woman as well. I clicked on her. And you first get the section with regards to her. And if you look at her face, she has claws all over her face. Now, at first, that could just be the enemy clawed her. It doesn't mean anything. It could mean that it simply clawed her, that it didn't claw her to death, that she could have died before from something else. So, this is the story of On the Open Seas as part of the calling. And this is part 4. So, I tracked it back to part 3. Let's see what happened in part 3. And to get to part 3 is involving with this guy. So I have to look for him in the boat and then click on him to unlock part 3. See how bananas kind of stupid this game is in some ways.
Oh, Aegis, you're still breathing? Can you roll? Nichols, sir, shoot them for God's sake!
Now I learned what happened to him. He has a knife in his hand, and he stabbed this dude. So that's how I was able to figure it out. I looked around and see, look at his hands, look at his body. Stabbed him before the creature could get to him. And I went back to the woman, and I saw this crazy stuff happening. And that's come to be allowed? What the hell? Okay, that's satisfying enough. So, this thing that's on the back of this creature is the thing that's glowing all the way here into the Obra Dinn. And so that's that. So now I looked at the woman, and I looked at her body, looked at her neck, I looked at the arm around her neck, I first thought that she's choking her, and I do know that this creature has spikes on her fingers, so the claws could go directly into her throat, so she could have gotten the thumbnail, the claw of the thumbnail directly could have penetrated her throat. So I went to that, her character, and instead of selecting Claude, I selected spiked, if I could consider it spiked, or more like speared, or stuck by a talon, or hooves. Well, it's not really hooves or tail. So I did that, and nothing happened. Then her claws on her hands aren't really, maybe it's her wings, and then I said, okay, maybe it's the tail. I said, alright, so she didn't get stuck. So she got gutted. And I knew it wasn't decapitation. Her throat was cut, but it wasn't with a knife. Was it with a claw? But it doesn't give the option of a claw. So that's where the problem starts to pop up for this game. That's where a lot of the problem started to pop up. It's because if I put Claude just stops there. It doesn't go into any more detail. But if I go from Claude to choke or something like that, or strangled, and I put strangled by beast or by enemy, nothing happens again. And then I go back again. And then I said, well, maybe the person her throat was torn apart by a beast. So, but no, that didn't happen either. So then I said spiked. So this person was never spiked, strangled, stuck, or torn apart.
Tin?
Hey there, what's this? Give them to me and I can fry us a solid meal, boys.
Well, now, take it slow.
What's it, gentlemen? There's a free shell here. Let's have a look.
No, get back. I've got you. Don't move. I'll get you down.
What's going on?
Stay back! It's already got to me.
Hey, come on, boss. No, get down. Hey, cats! Ah!
Secure the hold. Someone shoot the damn thing!
This game is very clever. He got stabbed, but he didn't probably die from the stab, die from the bullet shot. But you can't tag him. And if you try to run, you go through the door. So he wouldn't be there unless he left something. So I would have to remember who he is from this distance. It's ridiculous. He looks like the Frenchman, the bald Frenchman, but I don't see stripes on his shirt. Those will look like one of the Asian guys.
Where are you?
Yeah, I think it was a Frenchman. You just couldn't see him from that distance. Okay, so he got aced by the Frenchman. I'm gonna go with that. The truth of the matter, he got spiked. I'm just making an assumption based on where the bullet shot was going. But if I put spike, nothing happens. If I switch his name, nothing happens. This is what happens when you start to get towards the end of the game. Everything is, it's not that it's complicated, it's just that it feels like there's no point. Mainly because the game refuses to give you the remaining of the story, even though you solve certain things. Like, I know who killed him, I know why he got killed, I know where he got killed, I know the reasons why he got killed, but I'm unable to do so and proceed forward until the game says, well, you need to discover more clues in order for me to tell you that this is a check mark on this person. So I already know exactly who they are, what they're doing, and why they're doing it. See, it's saying that this guy's Alfred, he got torn apart and by a terrible beast. So those are the facts. But I know exactly what happened with him. He's the second mate. I know he's the second mate because his second mate steward is whispering in his ear. Where is it? His second mate steward, when the execution happening, his second mate steward was whispering in his ear over here. See, I pay attention to all the details. This is why I find it very weird that I have to deal with the inconvenience of the game being convenient to, you have to do it the way I say to do it, otherwise you cannot proceed forward.
Hok Seng Lao, you have been found guilty by self-confession of the murder.
So
of
that's him, he's
Nuncio
been executed,
Conrad.
and there he is,
As captain of this
the
ship,
second mate,
and by the authority of the East
steward,
India Company,
whispering in
and
the
thus
ears
Crown
of his
England, I sentence you
his
to
second
death
mate.
by firing
He's the
line.
steward of this dude. That's how I know they're together.
Mr. Wolf, when you are
So I'm thinking to myself, like, what the hell is going on in this game? I know who everyone is now. I know what they're doing. I know who they are and why they're doing it. So why do I have to wait for anything? I know who shot him. Nicholas Edwards was shot by the guy, the Asian Fomorian guard guy, because he kidnapped royal family members. Let me go to that situation. I even know the artist was right here, and he was looking at the same situation. He drew the whole picture, but he did not include these guys because they weren't in his line of sight. Like, the game specifically wants you to do things its way, but like, well, how is that a detective game or detective type game when you have to follow things the standard way?
Ahoy!
See, this is what happened to this dude.
Ahoy! Wait! Don't shoot! I have treasure! I yield!
Hold your fire!
And he kills him. The Fomorian guard kills him for kidnapping his royal family members and their sacred treasure, which is in this thing. He got shot. He didn't get speared. He didn't get stuck. He didn't get choked. He didn't get poisoned or torn apart. He got shot. by the guard. That's him. And the other one got executed. So I'm wondering to myself, what the hell am I waiting for? And she, where is she? She got clawed to death by a beast. This creature came out of the water, and that glowing thing is the reason why you see glowing on the ship when you look from the ship into the deep, distant waters. It's this thing glowing from this beast, the shell. The sacred shell, they took it back. And she got clawed in her face. I thought she got strangled and she got mauled, or her throat got ripped out, or cannibalized, or it stuck its sharp claws into her neck and choked her, but none of those options worked. She got clawed, and the game refused to make me proceed forward with her. None of this applies to her. She didn't live. She didn't get axed. She didn't get burned. She got clawed. She didn't get clubbed. The thing has talons or claws. She didn't get crushed, unless you're talking about her throat got crushed by the beast. But if I do that, then nothing happens. So she didn't get crushed. She didn't get decapitated. Her neck was still attached to her body. She wasn't drowned. She was still in the boat when the guy went back to the ship. She didn't die from illness, unless whatever the thing did to her gave her sickness in that short amount of time and she died from illness, which didn't happen. She didn't get knifed because those weren't knives, they were claws. She didn't fall into the water, or did she freeze, unless the cut on her neck from the beast made her blood cold and she died from frostbite. But as you can see, no dice. I click frozen, no dice. She didn't explode. She didn't expire from old age. She didn't get electrocuted or eat. She didn't fall off or fall aboard. She was still on the boat. So I'm saying to myself, what the hell is going on with this game? Once you get way past the halfway point going towards the end of the game, it decides to just become bitch made and not do anything whatsoever at all. She didn't get poisoned by the claws. Otherwise it wouldn't said, okay, the claws are poisonous. She didn't get shot. I was checking her body to see maybe she got shot by someone while that thing was attacking her, but she didn't get shot. So this is the scene part 4. If I go back to part 5 and click on his body, it would show what's happening to her.
You're still breathing? 10-year-old?
She's being choked by this thing. There's no bullets or anything going into her from anyone accidentally or ricochet. She's been choked out by this thing. It hasn't clawed her yet. Just clawed the top of her head. She's been choked out. Now you could say that the nails from the creature's claws is going into her neck to stab her to death. But there's no options about stabbing based on a claw. The only thing with regards to stabbing is based on knives. And if I put beast, well, the game will say, well, beasts don't have knives, so what the hell are you talking about? So there's no option other than she got clawed. And see, that's the problem I'm having with this game. Like, the game completely decides to fall over at the last minute when you're almost finished with the game. Like, I got like 75% of everything unlocked now. And all of a sudden, at the very last 25%, it decides to go bitch made. Look at how many people I've solved. More than 25%. I only got like 20% of people left to solve. Once those whole little lines around the skull goes all the way up, that means you've finished the game. But then past the 75% marker, the game just goes bitch made. And decide, you know what, I'm going to throw in the towel. And I'm not going to help you anymore. I'll just leave you in the dark. Like, bitch, you can leave me in the dark all you want. I already know what's going on. Is that you're just refusing to let me proceed forward. So no matter how many people say they love this game, I'm like, nah, this is a great game, but and you could end this game whatever way you want, at 25%, at 50%, at 75%. But I'll tell you what, if someone ends this game at 75 or at 100%, I gotta call cheating, man. Because how would you know? How would you know the exact amount of things that you're supposed to do to unlock bargain? That's what I'm trying to unlock, bargain. This chapter will remain unlocked until you leave the ship and return the book to Henry Evans. So the game refused to unlock certain things with regards to the story until you've figured out everyone's faith. Not just 75% or 70% or even 80%. Everyone's faith. So are you telling me that you're shitting me with this? Like, I can't waste my life like this, man. This is what you call wasting your life away. Just sitting for hours and then trying to figure out what the hell the game is trying to do. There's investigation, and then there's just ridiculousness. You're only given certain options. Is this person alive? If they're not alive, then they're dead. How did they die? By axe. By who? If it's not an axe, they got burned. If they didn't get burned, and there are different options for burn, there is no different options for burn. It's claws. There's club. And then you have different options for club. Enemies, beast, or name of individuals. She was in a boat, for crying out loud. She didn't get club. No one shot her. She didn't get spiked. She wasn't killed before she was on the high seas. She was still talking. The creature is the one that killed her. So I'm leaving that there. You need to unlock 3. Once you discovered 3, the game proceeds forward. So that's 1. These are the guarantees. That's 2. I know how he died. He got spiked. Unless the dude stuck him in the back, he got spiked. And I know how she died. She got clawed. So unless I'm seeing things and she didn't get clawed, there's some mystical thing that's happening that's not considered clawed, that the beast did something to her. Let's say the beast poisoned her. I tried every single damn thing. I even tried the most ridiculous things, torn apart by a beast. I even tried suicide, like she killed herself by letting the beast kill her. Suicide by how? By knife. So she killed herself while the beast was trying to kill her. I even tried the most ridiculous things. Nothing. Not a damn thing. So I just came to the conclusions like the game just doesn't want me to push forward. It wants me to solve specific people, and then other people can be solved. So I like, alright, so this is where I'll probably call it a day on this game and give it a big middle finger, but at the same time say this is a great solving game because it really wants you to do things its way. It doesn't want you to do things a detective's way. And that's not really, see, he's an insurance claims guy and he needs to discover what is going on the ship. So he technically isn't a detective. He's just there to use the pocket watch to identify individuals so he could get certain amount of claims per each death. But he has to know the precise death of each individual. And the only way to know the precise death is to do detective work.